Good morning. It's Saturday, April 27th. We're experiencing beautiful summer-like hot dry weather. We haven't had much rain at all since the typhoon, and the roads are very dusty and so forth. It'll be this way for probably a good part of the summer, and this is kind of what they call the dry season. And whereas the other part of the year is kind of the wet season, where it rains a lot more and it's a little cooler. So it's beautiful swimming weather, and it's beautiful almost anything weather except for working out and directly under the hot sun, because the sun is coming just about directly down on us now because of its moving north, for the summer. You told you're going to have the training program on Tinian. No, I didn't. We were perhaps going to go up there. Well, since the typhoon, it's been pretty well wiped out, and they really don't have any facilities for a training program, and the Peace Corps isn't about to fork out a lot of money to uh, rebuild the whole place. They just can't do it at this time. So they've been down here looking at Rota, and it was decided uh, to have it on Rota on I think it was Tuesday. Jerry Fight and this new man Roger Flather, who will take John Pensetich's place as head of Peace Corps in Micronesia. They came along with who else came? The head of training. Yeah, the head of the training program and liaison officer came down. So they came over to see our house, and then they invited us to the hotel. So we got to eat twice in 1 week at the hotel, which is pretty nice. The meals down there are pretty good, and so we had a real interesting time talking with them, and they wanted to find out what we thought about having a training program here, and about the people here and all these type of things. So it was a most interesting discussion. But anyway, it has been decided to have the training program here. This means that we will not be going to Tinian, and it probably means we won't be taking a vacation. Now, this again isn't definite. I was saying things change so much around here. We don't know. The training program will start on June 23rd. That means the trainees from the States will arrive here on June 23rd, and they'll be here for 9 weeks. And they're going to be supposed to be 53 TESOL trainees and about 13 or 15 other various omnibus people, who just be a couple nurses and probably a lawyer or something like that. But at any rate, there will be about 70 trainees and then about 20 or 25 staff. So all in all, there'll be about 100 people coming to Rota this summer. Now they've arranged to have each trainee live with a family here, and the Peace Corps will pay them $15 a week, which includes room, board, and laundry, which we think is a pretty fair price. And then it'll be the same deal. The trainees will get $10 a week walk-around money, and of course, the plenty of facilities here. There's a hotel for some of the staff to stay in, and there's the school to use for the TESOL teaching and the training in the language and so forth.
We told you that we might be going to Saipan, and we did go to Saipan. The reason we weren't sure was that we sort of got roundabout message that there was this meeting in Saipan, and we were expected to be there, but we'd never received any notification of it. And what had happened was Mr. Duvall, who's in charge of teaching TESOL this summer and is the man we'll be working for, had told Jerry Fight and Ed Moscone that he wanted us to come for this meeting. Ed Moscone was director of the training program, and Jerry's director of the Marianas Peace Corps. And he asked if they would, ask us to come. And they each thought the other was doing it, so consequently nobody notified us of the meeting. And it was just by really chance that we happened to go. Anyway, we were very, very glad we went. There'll be 5 of us teaching TESOL this summer, and we worked out a schedule, and we talked some about what we would be teaching. We had meetings. We got to Saipan on a Wednesday. We went on the new DC-6, which was very, very nice. The stewardesses have mini skirts, and it's a nice trip. Took about half an hour to get to Saipan. Mr. Duvall's wife met us and asked if we had a place to stay. And as the typhoon did so much damage on Saipan, we really didn't know if any of our friends had houses. And we said, well, we didn't think so. And she said that we could stay with them, which was very nice because transportation on Saipan is very hard. Everything is spread out all over the island, and it's hard to get places, although everyone will pick up people walking. And of course, Peace Corps people are not allowed to have cars. Anyway, we stayed with them and had a very good time. on Thursday we went to a luncheon that was given by the Department of Education, and that was to thank people for working during the typhoon. All the teachers, for all the work they did to get the schools back in session. Most of the schools have canvases over where the roofs used to be, and most of them are not on full schedule because of the amount of buildings destroyed. Saipan is really a mess. But anyway, the luncheon, also they gave plaques that they had made to all the volunteers in education that were terminating, and it was really very nice. There are not too many volunteers that ended up staying in education. Most people transferred out of it into something else, and it was nice that they made up these plaques, which were really beautiful for the people that stayed.
The date is June 8th, in case you're curious. So we have about a week now before things start really happening here. In other words, on the 16th, the training program will be coming in. And then 8 days after that, on the 24th, the trainees will arrive from Escondido, California, where the staging is being held this year. They're going to have language for the first 2 weeks, so we won't have TESOL then. So I think we'll begin teaching on the 15th of July, and this will last for 6 weeks till the end of August. And then we'll probably have about a week, and then school will start again.
No, it's June 12th, a Wednesday morning. Sunday, all the instructors come for this summer. The Micronesian teachers that will be teaching tomorrow, the people that will be teaching TESOL, PE, and organizing. And then the following week, all the trainees come, the people that will be in the Marianas as volunteers after they go through the training program. And these events and the time after them is going to keep us very, very busy. As you know, we're going to be teaching TESOL, and the trainees for the first 2 weeks will have intensive tomorrow classes, and then they will start having TESOL lessons. We will be probably teaching intensive English during this time to the Micronesians who will be learning how to teach English as a second language. We had a lot of work the last week of school trying to get everything finished and everything all set. There were about 30 children that graduated from the 9th grade, and it was a very nice ceremony. The boys all wore black pants and white shirts, and the girls had ordered material, and they had one of the women in town made dresses, and they all had dresses that were the same. It was a very, very nice occasion. There were a lot of feasts, 3 in a row, 3 different days, so we were well taken care of. With all the work we had at school, I guess we were feeling kind of down in a way, and then hearing of Kennedy's assassination made us feel even more so. It seems very discouraging. I know we get a very limited picture out here, and we just get the surface news. We're looking forward to getting our Time magazine with a little more in it, but it seems like a horrible thing to have happen, and the frequency of it seems to indicate something horrible about our country or about something. And what seems even worse is that there doesn't seem to be any solution that we can think of right offhand. It's a very deep set problems. I don't know, I have a fear that there will be a lot of rioting and killing this summer. Today is Wednesday, June 12th. You asked where the Peace Corps people are going to stay. Well, what is happening is they're going to have staging in Escondido, California, like we had staging in San Francisco. They'll be there for about a week, I believe. Then they'll be divided into groups for each of the 6 districts. And the group coming to the Marianas will come to the Marianas to Rota for training, and the group going to the Marshalls will go to the Marshalls for training, so that each district is having its own training program. I know very little about the other training programs, but I can tell you something about ours. The staff is arriving this coming Sunday on the flight, and then the staff will consist of Micronesian informants, people that will be teaching Chamorro, people that will be teaching TESOL, working with area studies and with physical education, coordinating, doing things of this nature. This man, Ed Moscone, was in charge of it, of the program. I believe you've probably heard us mentioning him. And he has been replaced, and our district director, Jerry Fight, has taken over. We're very pleased about this change. Moscone just came out here fresh from the States, and he really felt that Rota was the end of the world, and his wife didn't really like it out here, and we don't think they're going to stay out here very long at all, and they certainly had very little understanding of Rota and of the needs of the people here and of the trainees when they would get here. So we're glad that Jerry is now in charge of it. Then the staff will be here for a week getting set up. In addition to the staff, there are going to be 15 Micronesians going through the training program, learning how to teach English. And they will be coming also a little bit early, I believe. And they will be having intensive English training, which might be teaching, I'm not sure of that, while the trainees are having intensive Chamorro training. The trainees will arrive on a special flight on Monday the 25th, no, the 24th, on Monday the 24th. They will be met at the airport by their family, I believe, that they will be living with. All the trainees will be living with families, about 2 to a family. And the families are getting paid $15 a week to take care of the trainees, cook and feed them and do their wash. $15 each trainee. And most families are pleased about having the trainees coming to stay with them. They sent out 66 invitations, I believe, to people to come to training, and we really won't know how many are coming until they get here, because just sending out the invitation doesn't mean that they're accepting the invitation, and people will be taken out of the program in Escondido, and we won't really know exactly how many are coming until they get here. So then the first couple of days they'll have sort of orientation, and then they will start intensive Chamorro classes almost totally for the first 2 weeks. There'll be a few other things in there. And then they'll start with their TESOL training. Chamorro will be cut down, and this time will be used for TESOL training. And this will start on the 15th, and this is where we'll be doing planning and working with the Micronesian teachers prior to that. And then we will be working with the trainees. We'll know more about this as it comes on, exactly how many trainees we have. I imagine there'll be some things that will be hard for the trainees to get used to living with families, but I think they will. That's part of coming out here. You expect things to be a little bit different. I believe we've mentioned that most of the people sleep on mats made of pandanus on the floor. Usually everyone just sleeps in the main room, and many houses there's one room, just one, sometimes two. When someone's tired, they just lie down and go to sleep, and wake up. They wake up. And you just sleep in your clothes, and lights are usually left on. The food's very good here, so I don't think they'll have much trouble with the food. There'll probably be just the normal adjustment problems, getting used to a different kind of food. Probably some of them will get diarrhea and such, but that shouldn't last too long. It's certainly much better than it was in Truk, without question. We've got running water, electricity, some things like this, more people that speak English. It'll be a lot easier for the trainees than it was for us in Truk. Or Saturday, June 29th, although it doesn't seem that it really should be that date already. The trainees arrived, I guess, just about a week ago, and the staff arrived the week before that. The typical with everything else, the charter flight that was supposed to bring the trainees in was canceled for reasons we never got quite straight. And they were brought in by Emmett K in groups of 10. And Emmett K has a plane, and he has flown in Hawaii for quite a few years, and then he came out here and stayed. And he flies basically in the Marianas, his private plane, and you can get charter to go on him, or if he's making a run, it's the same rates as it would be on Continental. His plane seats about 10 people. He's trying to expand, thinking of having a school, and as soon as you take off from Guam, you can see Rota. You can even see Rota just from the end of Guam. The 55 trainees here on Rota now, 11 were, for one reason or another, did not come that were supposed to. And there are 43 of these are TESOL trainees, and the rest are training in other fields such as there already are qualified lawyers and secretaries and architects, small business advisor, nurses, things of this nature. Most of the trainees are young, 19, 20, 21, but there are 3 older women, one 72, one 63, I think, and the other one somewhere around there. There are 10 single girls and 21 single boys and 14, maybe 12, I guess 12 married couples. The interesting thing about the married couples is that they're all newlyweds. The average age length of marriage is 3 weeks. One couple had been married just 1 day prior to coming out. This is interesting in itself, but it also presents unique problems out here in that privacy is just not a part of the culture. All these trainees are living with families in the town and will have very little privacy. And there may be some problems for the newlywed couples in this fact and in the fact that men and women do everything, well, many things separate here. And this will have to happen of necessity in some cases when they're living with a family and the husband goes out. We've had busy days starting very early at 6:30 and going until into the evening, getting things set up and having meetings with the trainees about various things. Right now, Miss Tate is here, and Miss Tate wrote the books that we use to teach. She wrote the readers and the English series, and she's from Australia, an older woman, and very lively. And we like her very, very much. Today, after from 6:30 to 7:30, I had a meeting with the married girls, talking about some of the problems a married woman has out here. And then 7:30 to 8:30, Miss Tate gave a lecture on teaching oral English. And then Greg and I and some other people took Miss Tate on a trip around the island, and she enjoyed this very much. And we took her up to the Typhoon Cave, and then they all came for lunch here. Stayed most of the afternoon, so I'm just now washing my hair. I'm trying to get some wash done. So she's a very knowledgeable woman, of course, to have even just been able to write these series, and we're really glad the chance to get to know her and enjoy her company. I think the trainees have enjoyed knowing her and knowing that she's a real person, and she has a reason for what she wrote. Everything about the training program seems to be going along very well. And this is, considering that it's in-country training, this is very surprising. There seem to be very few real problems with the housing, and everything seems to be going along okay. There are some, I don't know, I guess you could say personality problems among the staff. Some staff members not getting along with other staff members, but there's very little. This is not a real problem, as there doesn't have to be that much contact. And we're glad to see things going as smoothly as they are. We are getting an additional $7 a week to cover our food expenses during this time. Some volunteers are living with families, and the Peace Corps is paying for for their food and their laundry and the services they receive, so that I guess in the name of fairness or something, we're getting the $7 a week, which is for food. We don't get it in actual money as we are already volunteers. We can't be paid anything. We get a voucher worth $7 at the store to buy food with, and as it's $7 a piece, we get $14. And this is a nice additional amount of money, as we have been doing and plan to do a lot of entertaining. We've had almost all the staff over for dinner, and we plan to start having the trainees over for dinner soon. We see this in a way as part of our job this summer. I think many of the trainees will enjoy getting a little different, something different besides rice and meat. And maybe if they have anything they want to discuss, there are a lot of different things for them to get used to. They're having trouble getting used to sleeping with the light on, and lots of other little things. But they seem like a real nice group. We haven't met anybody that we don't like, and everyone seems to be trying very hard and very anxious and excited about what they're going to do. A lot more idealistic, I guess, than when we first came out, but managing quite well. I was also very pleased Miss Tate taught one of my classes as a demonstration class for the trainees, and the class did very, very well. And she was very pleased, said it was the best class she'd taught in 2 years. So I was happy to know that the class, that she felt the class was going as it should. Every once in a while, I get kind of discouraged and not sure that we're doing the right thing. We have 15 Micronesian participants in this training program, learning how to teach English, and they seem like very, very nice people, and they're working very hard, and they will all be teaching English next year, which of course is part of the Peace Corps philosophy, in that we are trying to teach the people here to do the jobs that we are doing, and or to help them do the jobs that they're doing better, not to take over their jobs. I had a case in point with this philosophy where I was asked to teach an English class at night. No, from in the daytime, twice a week. And I said that I would be glad to do it, but that I couldn't commit myself to this time always, that I had to work at, with the training program, and that sometimes I wouldn't be free, but that I could use these Micronesian participants and that they would get practice teaching, and it could serve a dual purpose. The fellow in charge of the CAA that asked me to do this didn't want to have a Micronesian teacher teaching the class, in which case I just said I was sorry that I couldn't do it because I couldn't commit myself to this time, and that if he wouldn't accept a Micronesian teacher, then I couldn't do it. And these teachers that we are training to teach are very, very qualified, and they speak English very well. And I thought it was kind of very too bad that the CAA would not help us train these people, plus have a very good English program, in that Sam Duvall, who's in charge of the training for TESOL, would be assisting, and I would too, assisting a person who would be teaching, and probably they'd have a much better program than if I just did it alone without outside help. Anyway, that's a very small thing, but goes along with the philosophy of Peace Corps and what we feel our aims are out here, and it seems to be going along okay. It is very strange for us with all these Americans here now, just to see so many Americans and to see just different clothes and hear them talking and to talk with them. It just is a lot different for us, and seems strange in a way, but we're getting pretty used to it now. It's interesting to hear the comments that the Chamorro people have. There's been some trouble with the there are many, many Micronesians here from Saipan, and sometimes some of the young fellows on Rota that think they're very, very important try to pick fights because they are from a different island. There's some of this, and they do so. This has caused some trouble. Today we signed letters that the Peace Corps Marianas is sending to the wife of Robert Kennedy and Martin Luther King. Hello, Come Daddy. Today is June 29th, a Saturday, and we've just had a very delightful day taking Miss Tate around our island and showing her some of our sights. Our postmistress went away for a couple weeks, and a relative of her was left in charge of the post office, and the sea mail came in locked. It is locked when it comes in, and this fellow couldn't find the key. So we had 2 weeks of sea mail locked in the bags before she got back and could find the key. So we got the package a little later than we would have. As you know, our life is a little different now. There are quite a few staff members, both Chamorro staff members and American staff members. There are 55 trainees, people training to be in the Peace Corps. They're living with Chamorro families, and this seems to be working out fairly well. They have quite a bit to get used to, and they seem to be doing so. They are very fortunate. They may not realize it, but they are to have running water and electricity, and the things that they have to get used to, such as eating rice every meal, sleeping with a light on, taking their shoes off when they go into a house, doing things separately at times, because husbands and wives here do things separately. And of course, they have a very rigorous schedule starting at 6:30, going until 5 in the afternoon, and then they have class from 7 to 8 at night. These things are hard, and not too many of them seem to be sick, which is fortunate. Most all of us were sick in Truk with diarrhea almost all the time. Some of them, each family is different, and they're all having rather unique experiences. And certainly this is a valuable part of their whole Peace Corps experience if they do decide to stay for the 2 years. Today is June 30th. We've had trainees over at our house today, different ones, and the more we get to know them, the more pleased we are with them. Everyone seems so very nice and intelligent and interested in their job and work out here. And it seems to be working out extremely well, having them live with the families. They are being very diplomatic and working with the problems and trying to figure out ways to solve them. It's very, very encouraging to see this happening and working so very, very well. Today is the 24th of July, a Wednesday. Training's been going along all right. TESOL's proving to be the best program of the training, and this is very unusual. In our program, it certainly wasn't rated by the trainees as the best program. Usually there are more gripes about TESOL than anything else. And it isn't working that way. We got the trainees into the room teaching the very first day, and they're really enthusiastic. This past week, I was taking care of 2 first grade classes, and for 2 hours, trainees taught in these classes, 5 trainees each hour, and I was in charge of observing and criticizing these trainees. As it was, I had, I guess, 20 trainees. No. 5. 10 trainees to observe. They taught about 15 minutes of TESOL and 15 minutes of reading. Next week, they'll be teaching in half-hour blocks. I'll have the same 2 rooms, and I will be observing and criticizing. It's a very tiring kind of morning, racing from room to room and listening and criticizing in a constructive way without hurting anybody's feelings, and making it meaningful and getting them ready to prepare for the next day. And then all afternoon we have discussions on how each trainee is doing. This is for the purpose of assessment, and what we're going to have in our lectures, and how we're going to regroup them, and how we're going to reschedule them. And we also have the office open during lunch and evening hours, so the trainees can come in and work, and then get ready for what we're going to do the next day. And it's just left us very, very tired and without much time. And then this past week, and the week before, was kind of, well, I don't know, I really wasn't too much in the mood for all this. You know, we had with learning of Gum Daddy's death, and then everything else. And we've been having rain all week. It's I mean, literally all week. It's just been rain and rain and rain and rain and rain. It cleared up this afternoon a little bit. It's still very windy. We had a tropical storm warning. That's the kind of warning you get. First you have a tropical storm warning, then you have a typhoon warning. And this was just a tropical storm warning, and it didn't develop right in the Marianas into a typhoon, I don't think. But it made, I think it's what caused all this rain and wind. We did have a lot of wind. Greg had to get up one night and get the house all shut up, and I slept right through it. But it's okay. The trainees seem like a really good group. We're very, very impressed. They're in the process of having mid-boards now, or they've had mid-boards, and now they're getting the feedback. We'll be interested to see if anyone leaves. So far, just one person has left, which is quite different from our program, where a lot of people left, and this one girl left after about the first week because she missed her boyfriend and wanted to go back and see him, but everyone else seems to be managing okay. There are plans, if enough children register on Saipan, that half the trainees will go 1 week and half the other week to teach on Saipan. If we get 700 to 900 children registered on Saipan, then these children, then there'll be enough to have a school and have all the trainees maybe get 4 hours of teaching a day, which would be a very, very good thing. Plus they'd get a chance to see Saipan, so we may have this going on, and there again, a lot of scheduling to do.
But we've been trying to have all the couples, and we indeed hope to have all the trainees over before the end of this summer, both couples and single people. So we've been inviting people over, and of course this has been a little extra work, but we've enjoyed it, and it's a little change from the daily routine of the trainees eating with the families. There has been some problem with some of the trainees adjusting to eating the Chamorro food, and so we've tried not to serve rice and cold food, which it is as the Chamorros eat it. About what we served the trainees this summer when they came over to eat. Well, of course, as you know, we have quite a bit of meat and also fresh vegetables here. So this is what we tried to serve the trainees when they came over. Usually meat, probably steak. We have a barbecue out here and barbecue meat. And also they've been getting quite a few potatoes in lately, or I say lately, within the past 6 or 8 months. So that we realized that the trainees had all been getting rice from their families, since this is the staff of life here, rice. So we decided to give them potatoes. So it would usually be a vegetable, usually fresh vegetables if we had it, and fresh meat, and also potatoes. Thing has been going along very fine, at least from the TESOL standpoint. We now have about 2 more weeks left in the program, and so it is starting to drag a little bit, especially for the Saipanese participants, the Chamorro participants from Saipan. They're kind of homesick in this respect, but it still is going along quite well, and the people are learning quite a few skills, and they're going to be excellent teachers. Half the group has gone to Saipan this week, and the other half will go next week, so that they will all have gotten a chance to see it and to have taught up there for at least a week. I'll be interested to hear what the reactions were when the first group gets back here next week, on Sunday. The first group, or 16, went up on Sunday, and they'll be coming back this following Sunday, uh, the 10th, and then the other group will leave to go up for a week. We had to schedule it this way because final boards start the weekend of the 17th, and they want everybody back here for final boards in case anyone gets deselected or something. I think I mentioned this before, but this is why we're doing it this way. Um, since the last time I spoke here, two more volunteers or two more trainees have resigned, so that makes a total of three so far. And I think the way it looks now, there'll be only one more who probably either resigns or gets deselected. We both have. I think really felt like we've accomplished quite a bit, helped quite a few people, uh, and so we've gotten quite a bit of satisfaction out of the work we have been doing this summer. Um, we've had all the married couples over, and also three of the single people. So we hope to have at least all the people in Texel over by the end of the time the program is over. So this should, we've really enjoyed it, and I think they have too. So it's it's just been nice, especially since there haven't been that many people for us to talk to generally throughout the year, as far as people just coming from the States goes. So this is interesting to find out. They're telling us quite a bit about the way the domestic things in the States were going at the present time. Trainees were a little bit, I guess, when they first arrived, a little intellectual. They had all these intellectual ideals and everything, and this has kind of uh, been brought down to the actual realities of what is out here and everything. And so I think most of them are getting a pretty good grasp of the way things are. It was funny when they first arrived because they all looked so white, and now of course they're much more tan, but they looked almost like albinos to us. I didn't think my tan was so tremendous till I saw theirs, and then I really realized the trainees have been real healthy too, and there hasn't been anyone. Uh, there have been a couple cases of sickness and things, but nothing at all like it was last year in Udot. I think it's a much easier program as far as the physical aspects of the thing go because of just the fact that there's good water here and that so many other things are advantageous to good living conditions, which they are not in the rest of the trust territory. And so it's all worked out very well for them. The only problem I see is that a lot of the trainees have really gotten attached to some of their families here, and they really won't want to leave when the time comes for them to go to Saipan, since only three or four of them will be staying here. So this may be kind of hard, and that's why I'm interested in seeing what the trainees thought of Saipan when they went up there. And I hope it wasn't. I hope it was a good experience for them, and because if it wasn't, this could probably cause some problems.
It's tape number 2, November 8th. Things seem to be starting out at school all right. And the training program seemed to end okay. Possibly I didn't tell you about the boy who fell down the hill right before we left he was climbing a waterfall, one of the trainees, and he fell about 30 feet and all the men in the village went and took him down the mountainside from this waterfall on a stretcher, and then it goes night by then, and all the cars in the village went up to the airport so that he could land, and then he's okay.
Today is the 14th of September. We've now started back in with our routine at school again, teaching English and doing various other things up there. We have 4 new volunteers who are teaching English with us, and this is making it much easier than it was last year. Last year we lost a teacher in the middle of the year, one of the Chamorro teachers here, and it made it very hard for us to cover all the classes. But this year we have plenty of people, and I hope that the year will continue the way it has started off. We've got quite a good library program this year. We got books from Kit's mother last year from the Oakmont Library in Ashburnham, and these have worked out very well. And two of the new volunteers have had a lot of experience working in libraries, so we split up the library duties. The new volunteers, two of them are single, and they are both staying with families now. The married couple is staying with the other couple here, the Shears, who are on vacation now, staying with their house in their house actually, so that we are trying to find them a house that they can move into. We hope to find it before the Shears come back, so that we can get them settled and they will have their own house. But it's hard because most people usually tear down their house after they finish a new one, so there really aren't too many empty houses kind of hanging around. So this might be a problem.
We had a really nice time last night. We went up to the contract teacher couple house, the Perales here. They invited all the new volunteers and us. It was all the volunteers in education up there for dinner in the evening last night. We had quite a nice time. The new volunteers, of course, have an advantage because they were here for training. Since training was on Rota last summer, they got a head start into the community and what life is like here. So it's been very easy for them to just adjust into the role of teaching and living in the community, which is very good. I think they've gotten a head start on things. This area is in great transitional change right now, and we're here at a very exciting time when things are happening and things are changing all the time. We can see just the changes in last year since we've been here. Of course, when we had the typhoon, this changed the look of the village quite a bit. A lot of the houses were blown away, new houses have been built, things have been changed. And too, with the Peace Corps training program this summer, here it also changed the outlook of some of the people and so forth. So it's really is an interesting experience for us. It's probably one that will take us a while to analyze after we leave Rota.
But also the Peace Corps movie made during training came up too, and so Greg showed that last night and the night before. It was really funny because a lot of the local people are in it. Evidently, Peace Corps Washington doesn't like it at all, and it's a great Tesla movie. It's too bad you can't see it. It shows some of Rota and stuff, but we really enjoyed it, and we're glad to be able to see it. So the people got a big kick out of seeing themselves, and we really enjoyed the movie. We're sorry that the volunteer that got it has gotten such grief about it, about Peace Corps Washington not liking it. During the last training program, there was the couple that was considered the strongest couple. They'd been married a while, and very, very nice couple. And when they made the movie they made of Peace Corps training, they picked out a couple to follow, and this was the couple they followed. Anyway, a couple weeks ago, she ran away with one of the other volunteers from this summer, and they don't really know where they went. They think they went to Manila, but I guess they're trying to find them, so he's gone back to the States. It's automatic termination. I asked once about how many Peace Corps divorces there had been, and or separations or whatever, because I know there are quite a few, but I don't think they have any statistics on that. But I don't know how good this recruitment film will be, with this being the result of this couple. But of course, I guess anyone seeing the film probably wouldn't know that. But it's really too bad.
It's Thursday, October 17th. There was a conference in Guam, a TESOL conference, about the training programs that were held in the Trust Territory last summer. We were invited to go there from the Marianas, along with Carol Mahelko, who was also here this summer, from Tinian. So there were three of us in the Marianas who went, three volunteers, that is. There was also both our TESOL supervisors from Saipan, and then various other volunteers and TESOL people from all over the Trust Territory. This conference started on Tuesday, the 8th of October, and went through the Thursday, the 10th of October. we had to leave here on the Sunday the 6th in order to get to Guam because the plane, of course, doesn't fly on Tuesday to Guam. So we spent from the 6th of October to the 11th in Guam. We went over all the aspects of training, trainees, the Micronesian participants who came down from Saipan and from the other areas who were trained to teach TESOL, the school, the various, in other words, everything that entered into the training process, things that we did, that people did right, things that people did wrong. And they went around to each district and had them tell us how each part of their training program went so that we could kind of compare them and contrast notes and make recommendations for the training program next year. So we not only were able to contribute what we had experienced last summer, but we also learned quite a bit from the other districts. It was most interesting. I think we had one of the best training programs. Of course, we had the most advantageous situation in that we had an ongoing school here, and that students were here all summer, and they not only were there for the trainees to learn how to teach, but they were also there for to learn English. And in fact, they did learn some English, which was also very beneficial.
We have just gotten back from Guam. It seemed to be also, besides the people from TESOL, there was the Peace Corps linguist who is out here with for all the districts, and then there was the assistant director of Peace Corps Micronesia, and the person in charge of TESOL in Micronesia, and I guess that was it for people from other capacities that were there. We were told pretty definitely that Peace Corps would not continue to supply teachers. Peace Corps was more interested in supplying teacher trainers, and in Washington, if they were deciding who they would send, how many people each district or each area of the countries would get. Say Africa asked for 50 teacher trainers, and Micronesia asked for 50 teachers, the people would go to Africa. So that the role of the Peace Corps volunteer out here is changing. It was the consensus of everyone that the training program and this should be emphasize training Micronesians. Possibly there shouldn't even be a Peace Corps training program, but a trust territory training program to train Micronesians, and then Peace Corps could be included in on this. Especially because all Micronesians are ready to teach English, or because this is the best way to teach English. It's out of necessity, in that the supply of English teachers is going to fade away, and if people are not trained to teach English, then English won't be taught. At the last day of the conference, there were 2 people were there from Guam. Guam has had all its instruction in English, and some just getting around to figuring out that the reason they're having such a problem in their high schools, both with juvenile delinquency, which correlates with English ability, and with poor English, is because not everyone speaks English in Guam. They seem to have been working under the impression that everyone spoke English, but many children start school and don't. So they've just started this year putting English in the 1st and 2nd grades. It's now October 17th. I guess I can just say generally that we were very happy that we were asked to go to this conference, and we learned a great deal, and it was really very, very interesting. Just in itself, I think it's probably the most interesting conference that I've ever been to. Maybe it was because we were particularly interested in the subject, but things certainly went very well. Now we'll be very curious to see what kind of decisions are made higher up.